Will you be paying homage to the king in a few days' time? Will you be getting down on bended knees, swearing your allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III? Oh, Your Majesty, I am here for you. I pay homage. I am your humble servant. Will you be doing that? Apparently, King Charles at the coronation has decided that he would like the public to pay homage to him, to swear allegiances to him, to effectively take an oath, to obey His Royal Highness, His Majesty, King Charles III. Will you be doing that? Will you be getting down on your knee and pulling at your forelock and going, oh, Your Majesty, yes, of course, Your Majesty, anything you say, Your Majesty. Will you be doing that as he takes his oath? You see, I think that's the wrong way round, completely and utterly the wrong way round. He should be swearing his allegiance to us, the people of this land. He is the first amongst the equals. He should be paying his allegiance to us, swearing on his oath for the traditions and the customs of this land. Yet he can't do it, can he? He can't do it. After all, he is embedded with the WEF. He is embedded with the WHO. He launched the Great Reset. He is under the thumb of the bankers in the City of London. After all, it was his family, was it not, that sold the Crown Estate to the City of London, to the bankers in the City of London. That he is not free to do as he so wishes. So will you be paying homage to him? I'm not sure that I will. I mean, is there an appetite at all for this coronation? It doesn't seem so, does it? I made a video about this the other day. Where are the posters celebrating the great big carnivals? Where are the floats being made up? Where are the road closures? Where is the bunting? I mentioned all of this. Are schools setting up special days? Will there be events going on, galas and public events where you can go to and visit the schools and the kids will be dressed up in all the pageantry around the land? Is that happening? Are you aware of that? I have no notion of it. I don't watch the television, as I said before. Is there an appetite for this coronation? I'm not convinced that there is. After all, where was the king during those recent troubled years, 3 years ago, when we were oppressed by the government, slamming us inside and telling us we couldn't go out? We could not see our loved ones as they were dying. We couldn't see our loved ones who were in the homes that we were unable to go and see. We couldn't even spend Christmas with them, or we had to have all the windows and doors open. Where was the king protesting then? Where was he on mainstream media saying, hang on a second, maybe we should see the other side of the science, this science that you say is just one-sided, that we have to wait for this special medical whatever it is until the end of the year, that we can't try anything out? Where was the king? Why wasn't he running around the countryside on his white charger saying, I'm here for the people, I'm not sure this is it? Where's the cost-benefit analysis of all of this, all these troubles? Where was he then when we as the people needed someone, a leader, the man of the moment, to coming around and saying, actually, do you know what, I'm not sure that this is the right policy? Where was he when there was the great Barrington Declaration being trodden on and shoved to the side? Why wasn't he holding it up and saying, hang on a second, let's have a look at this. This could be the answer. Let's look at both sides. Where was the king? Or he wasn't the king then, of course, but where was he as the future king, as the king in waiting? Where was he? Was he on our side? No. He seemed to be launching the Great Reset. He seemed to be absolutely absent from the people, us, and what we would possibly want. Do the people want him as the king? That's the question. Do we actually want him as our king? That's what I'm asking today. I mean, what is his role in reality? After all, what will he do as the king? Has he shown his colours already? Is he going to sell us down the river? Is that what's going to happen? Is that why we don't know what's in the oath? We haven't seen it. We don't know what he stands for anymore. Have the people had enough of kings and monarchs and elites and royalists and spongers and dictators? Have we had enough of all of that? Have we had enough of that system, of all the pomp and circumstance that goes with it? I mean, what are they for these days? Perhaps we need to return to the days of the Anglo-Saxons and the Witan. Somebody emailed me and said, "Oh, Richard, you better explain to the people what the Witan was," because they were convinced that the people are a bit stupid. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think you understand what the Witan was back in the Anglo-Saxon days. But for those that might not understand, back in the Anglo-Saxon days, the Witan was a group, a circle, if you like, of the important people, the learned people, the elders of the old communities, of all the homesteads and the people that were in those very small communities back then, in the little kingdoms that there were. And these people would get together, having judged what the mood was of the people. They were sort of the people's representatives, and they would come together on a moot mound, which was basically just a meeting point. It might have been a raised place, somewhere sacred. And there they would get together and they would discuss, who do we think should rule and lead and govern and take care of us? Who is strong? Who is a sensible person? Who has our best interests at heart? And these learned people, these elders, these wise people, having listened to the rest of the population in their little kingdoms, would suggest and vote on somebody who was going to be the head honcho, as it were. And of course, back in the Anglo-Saxon times, until Alfred and beyond, there were lots of different kingdoms. It wasn't one united country. In fact, it wasn't until Athelstan was on the throne that he made England England. It became one proper nation with one king, and all the kingdoms started to sort of mould together, which in and of itself was quite good, because you could see that that was a cohesive society of sorts. But it was fine, was it not, when the king was leading us and protecting us and being there for us? And okay, they used to come round and tout us for taxes, so of course they could go off and fight wars and claim a bit more land and all of that. But do we want that anymore? That's not anymore happening. We're just having taxes taken from us. Our kings don't seem to be arguing against the 15-minute cities, the digital IDs, doesn't seem to be arguing against the central bank digital currency, doesn't seem to be on our side anymore. I used to be a royalist. I used to think there was a purpose for them, that they would bring in tourism, that we were a country worth coming to, that we had this wonderful history of this lineage of what the kings and queens had done for our land. I love the old Queen, even though perhaps now as I learn things, maybe she wasn't quite who she seemed to be. Maybe there are some dubious questions about the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And in a way I could excuse all of that. But now, do we need this king? Is this how we want to be governed? Are we going to be sold down the river? Is he going to present an oath to us? The real question, though, is, seeing as he wants it so badly, so desperately, and he's waited for the moment to be crowned, are you going to pay homage? Are you going to swear allegiance to King Charles III?